Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail, and it is late autumn in the year 7 of Hurstboro. And you can see that I have what can start to be called kind of a thriving community, but still we're a little bit short on laborers, a little bit short on manpower, and right now I'm really in the expansion phase where I just want to grow my population. I'm pretty comfortable with the infrastructure that I have, and hopefully this episode today we'll have the town hall completed so we can start taking a look at some statistics. But for now you can see children are starting to be born if we look at these houses. My population is a little bit aged, mainly because I ran into a tools shortage before and that really stopped my growth. But right now you can see my food reserves are fantastic, my fire logs are fine. Everything's alright pretty much, to the point where I can probably start thinking about trading pretty soon. Now trading, that's going to be coming up here, is one of the most important parts of the game, and kind of a mid, you could start to say your first foray into the mid game is, wow, down to 15 degrees, that's below freezing for those of you on the centigrade. But yeah, probably the biggest part of the trade deal is that it lets you get other resources into town, and on hard difficulty like this, it's going to be the only way I can start to farm. And I really would love to have this area up here start to be some fields. Although with that hill right there, there's not a ton that I can do. But still, pretty nice here. You can see that our foresters are planting a lot of little trees, and you can see some game floating through here as well. And actually some people are hunting the game too. You can see corpses there. That's interesting. Looks like little chicken bundles, you could say. Yeah, cutting out a lot of this area down here. I really do actually need to build a rock quarry at some point too, because you can see there's one thing I am low on. It is natural resources. So at least my people are eating right now, but let's go ahead and start this off. As we still are on speed 10, let's just harvest, mark this stone for harvest, mark this iron for harvest. And what we really need is some laborers. And you can see right now we have one student, which is not fantastic, but not awful. And probably, let's see, if I'm going to put someone on general labor, of everybody that I have here, it's probably going to be a builder. Now my health and happiness is still good, but I'm going to be curious to see once this town hall is done. And it looks like it's what the people are trying to build. I just need to actually get the remaining resources together for it. I could probably stick a mine somewhere over here too, so maybe this beautiful shoal right here between these lakes can just get destroyed with a mine and everything. Because that's what we love in Banished, is the environment, I guess you could say. Yeah, starting to get a few resources gathered together. You want to have more than just one laborer, and part of the reason is that when your population dies, you want your people to kind of be available to take up the slack. And if you don't have any spare laborers, people will just go, which means if you lose a teacher, which we have the schoolhouse here that is currently teaching 4 students, so that's good. I'm starting to get more children being born, including Kenda, Rand, I don't know how to pronounce that, but there we go. We're starting to get our population aging up a little bit. So that's pretty good. Pretty good overall here. It means I'm probably going to need some more houses in just a little bit. Oh, let's hear, wow, Damar. Damar is just, oh, we just have 2 laborers. Alright, so that's a good general labor house here. We have plenty of stone and iron to try and take care of here. In fact, this forest is replete with resources, which is kind of a relief. Part of the challenge of the later game is what do you do once the resources go down. Some people build rock quarry after rock quarry after rock quarry, which is good. I'd like to play with trading posts maybe a little more, because there's a lot of easily farmed resources like logs, like coats, like everything that you can turn into some of these building resources. But for now, like I said, kind of the sticker here is waiting on the town hall, waiting to get all this together. So I do want to see some stats, because I'm a stat guy, I guess. So get this together. Just need 8 more iron, which unfortunately iron is a little hard to come by. I do have plenty of tools here, but yeah, you can see all this nice stretch down here of river, all these great resources, rocks, iron on the other side. Cannot get to it just yet, but this may be a decent time to actually build a bridge over here as well. Might as well. I already have a bridge across one creek, might as well do the other. So yay, we're building instead of me just talking. Who knew? Alright, so Not so much of a need for tunneling right now. And why? Oh, it's still trying to get me to build a dirt road. That's funny. I want a bridge. Alright, so can I bridge over this? Yes, I can. Alright, so that'll come eventually. That's not going to interfere with fishing, just like the trading post won't, so that's good. And if you build more than one trading post, you can get multiple traders coming per year. But firewood is a fantastic thing to trade with. Herbs, while they take them, are a fantastic thing to trade. And I'm actually starting to push my food limit just a little bit here. So I've got to kind of watch it. In fact, it's probably going to behoove me to build another house here before too long. And as much as I was hoping to kind of keep this area a farm, it's probably going to just be household time. Now, my stone influx is still not great, so I'm going to be building wood houses for the time being. So let's see here. That is a... let's put this over here. I've heard plenty of people say space out your stuff more so that it doesn't catch on fire. I think not having things catch on fire is generally a good idea. So we already have late autumn again, year 8. It's been a year. This town hall is just sitting here. We have... there's not a lot of iron. In fact, it's probably going to be time for me to build a mine anyway, just to try and get something freaking consistent up here. But that's what you get in this game. I mean, it's you get some fast stuff, you get some slow stuff, and you just work with what you can. Now, one of the challenges of making a mine work in this game, as you can see, I have a woodcutter that's blocking a good access point here, is that you got to negotiate with the hills. So it's probably going to have to be on this side, which is not great, and that snow is coming a little later than usual this year. Kind of a mild snow, if you will. That's here. But unfortunately, you see, I try and turn it all these ways, it won't work. But magically, the mine works right here. Once you build a mine, it does not go away. So we'll just go ahead and make the appropriate road to it as well. If I can... okay, it's going to be... okay, so that just dorked up. I still have a problem with my mouse where it decides sometimes it just wants to double click kind of randomly, but there we go. We have the stupidest dirt road ever. Pretty nice. Put an extra one down here, and for you OCD folks that are like, oh my god, why isn't this connected properly? There we go. So I have little blocks, squares, maybe not the greatest aesthetic ever, but still try to build a hospital too, and iron is our #1 shortage right now. So let's see here. Is there any more iron lurking around here? I actually do not think there is. There's not a ton of it. We have our people walking a long ways to get iron. But as soon as we get iron, usually I am just rolling in iron. And it looks like we do have some across the path here, and I could send my people on a march of death to get it. But this is a time where I really need to start getting just everything together. So let's see, we have the hospital constructing. Tried to raise the priority on this, but once this hospital's done, the resources are going to go here. I'd say getting a hospital is important, especially if we do have some kind of plague breakout. So have the laborer, free laborer ready to get a physician going. This is still going a little slow for me, but I guess that's not too big of a surprise, just considering how early, just how tough of a start this was. And for those of you who may not have watched fully in the beginning, the reason this is a tough start is that I embarked, and this is on hard harsh, so you can see right here the storage cart, which is still standing there. Probably just keep it as a historic marker. It's right here. Normally I like starts somewhere like here, where there's an open field. There's a lot of places you can kind of build spread out to, but right here we're just on this delta, right next to the trade resource river, which is fantastic, but there were no trees practically. Even then the Forester's Lodge is cut by this hill where trees magically won't grow on. And it took me a while before I could actually expand over here because I derped up with tools. So while I've recovered, once again we're running into just a lack of resources and everything, as we have the game running through the creek. So we do have a decent population in town. So we get the autosave going here. Gatherers look like they're still going. As now we're getting the town hall built. That's good. 3 builders doing their thing. And after this probably going to be time to build the trading post. So we'll go ahead and unpause this. If I can remember how to unpause by actually hitting the unpause button. Because we do have enough resources to start doing some things here. The tailor, I can probably up the clothes limit a little bit. So we have a number of hide coats. Same with the blacksmith, can probably start upping the tool limit. Although iron is still an issue, having tools to trade it makes things pretty simple. But I do need this mine. And fortunately I only need stone and logs, but don't tell me now we're starting to have a log shortage as well. If we are, I can just start clear cutting over here down by the river. So we'll just do that. Because this area is gonna be mostly farm up here, I think. But what is the range of this market? Because you do want to keep the houses within the market range. Right now, this one market is serving enough of the population. But I'll probably need to have another market before too long. So let's hear. This is going to be kind of nasty down here because if I want to build, I can build another mine down here, no problem. Oh, no I can't. Yes I can. Okay. Rock quarry on the other hand is going to take up this whole area. So that's unfortunate because I'd really like to use this for another fishery. And apparently you can build a rock quarry next to a fishing post and not affect your fishing. Yeah, if I put that there, it's probably going to affect my ability to build a mine. So I'd have to put it down here. So we'll do this. I may be able to have a road go around it. Probably better to put the fishing posts up here if I'm going to have another fishery. And once again, what I like to do in this game is just to plan ahead as much as possible. I want to have as much water coverage as I can. I think that's going to be about as good as I can do, except for maybe right here, which, no. Can I make that work? Maybe. Uh-oh. That's gonna be a really good fishing dock. Only problem is that you're gonna have to get a bridge to go to it, so. Once again, with fishing, you want to have as much water coverage as possible. That is a not-so-secret thing of, hey, guess what? If you have water, you're going to find more fish. Once again, I'm having the click from hell. So there we go. I can't actually build a bridge to it. That's fantastic. Can probably put another fishery down here as well. So let's see here. We have a town hall. What does that mean it's time for? Are we starting to actually get the this together? Yes, we are. As the forest is getting clear cut and everything's looking herb-like as my people are just continuing to forage like crazy people. Which I guess what are humans but locusts at this rate? I have a lot of laborers too, which is good. I think my production's pretty decent to the point where I can start comfortably mining, so let's go ahead and let's drop another builder or two. That way they'll still gather as I go on here, but we do have the rock quarry. I do need the mine first. And we're gonna have as much building as we can here. Like, I do want to go ahead and put my fisheries in appropriate places just so they're marked. So this is probably going to be the second one here. And I just need to remember, you can pin this to make sure that the circles don't overlap, because if they do overlap and they don't here, if they touch right here, that's going to cut down on everybody's fish. Like this is totally fine. Does not appear to be a problem at all. You can see right there. The lighting effects are really nice, but they don't show up. Oh, it's a really nice zoom-in view on the water. Always impressed by people who can make good water in games. So there we go. Got more of this. So now I guess what I'm going to need to do is to build a house over here. Once again, the market's serving this area. You want your market to serve your houses. The other goods and stuff can be on the periphery, which is why I'm not so concerned about up there. But I'm going to need to build a market up here too before too long. So how are we doing on this? We need iron, we need stone. We got a bridge now, so that's fantastic. That means I can start pillaging for more resources. I just feel like a terrible human being right here. I really, really do. I'm just going to clear out this whole area. That's right. I'm a awful human being, but we'll put another. Let's see, how far does this go? Yeah, this No, I don't want to disable the gatherers. What the F? Okay, I just accidentally screwed up my food. Great! Alright, so we probably do need some more gatherers before too long, but while we're building infrastructure, let's just have this dirt road go here. And since bridges are pretty, and we like bridges in this game, have another bridge. And that'll just let people, because bridges do take some stones, so we'll see how that goes. I don't have a ton of reserves right now, we don't need to pen this anymore. But let's look at stats, I promise stats. Yay, so here we go, it's early summer. 10 homes, 15 families, 36 citizens. There's probably something wrong here, and I do have a tailor that doesn't have resources. But 48% educated, which is not awful considering how long it took me to build a school, but there's my resources. One of the most important ones you can look at is use versus produce. Right now I am ahead of my food curve. As my population increases, I'll start to put more into fisheries, more into other things. I may need to actually put a storage barn over here too, maybe. But there we go. Food there. Herbs are pretty good. Not producing them super fast, but producing them fast enough. Coal and everything else is not so important. Inventory, which I like to sort by quantity, just so I can see what I have. I started with potatoes in my storage cart. Those have all been eaten. Fish is by far what my people are eating the most, but it does look like there's nothing in trading post yet. And in homes, yeah, we're mostly a fish-eating village, but if we can diversify our food, that'll be great. Graphs. This is where the rubber hits the road. You could say I'm going to do this. That's 10 years, so let's look at a 10-year view. Alright, population still going up. Probably need to build another house. Let's build one. Let's build one by the town hall. And in fact, what I probably need to start focusing on, because I know I'm being a little spastic and jumping back and forth here, so I probably need to start building some fire prevention. Can't remember for sure if I did that last time, but fire prevention is a very important thing, says Smokey the Bear. So we'll put one here. We'll put one here. And what do we have? I don't have a great spot, so we'll just put one here. Alright, so that works. Back to the town hall view, which we can actually, we don't even have to go there, we can just click this button. Or press some hotkeys that I'm not pressing. So there's the population. We want our children population to be higher than it is right now. Right now it's much lower than I'd like. And because we're going to have a pretty significant die-off in the not too distant future, I just got to make sure I'm ready for it. You can see I had a huge clothing gap. That was when I didn't have a tailor together for a while, and then this is where you can see my building. My tool shortage led to actually years of people have been raggedy clothes, which sucked. So here's food. We like food up here. When we have a die-off, it's not going to be pleasant. Logs, you can see the difference between what's produced, what's not produced. The more interesting thing to me is the fact that it only goes up to 40 because we're just building like fiends. Stone, we had a big surplus at one point, but now forged out the lands. Using stone pretty much as we get it. About the same with iron, just now getting some more. We're getting the trading post up soon too. Firewood's going to be one of the key currencies that we have. Coal eventually. Tools is going to be another key currency that we use, and herbs is going to kind of be the third. So clothing is good. We can trade clothing, and alcohol we have none yet. So nomads, they don't come into town just yet. They will be here eventually. Nomads are kind of a dicey game because they can really boost your population, but they usually come with some kind of disease or other problem. Well, but I guess they're nomads. And I've acquired nothing yet because I'm playing on hard, and you start with nothing. So here is the trading post, just about done. Right on schedule. Let's go ahead and bump one person into here. And I like managing my trading posts specifically. So let's see. Later on we can do purchase orders, but for now what we're going to do is just try and really increase our inventory. Now we want to put a little bit of food. We can probably afford to put a lot of fish in there. And let's see here, how many hide coats do we have right now? We have 49. Let's go ahead and store 30, because that's all that's in storage. Tools, let's go ahead and store, let's say 60. And this is going to put a strain on my production, but that's okay. Logs I don't have a ton of. I want to be able to put logs, iron, and all that stuff eventually. But I'm just going to put a little bit of food in each of this here. Venison, I'm pretty sure, is decent to trade, so we'll put... I don't know how much I have, though, so I'll put 100 for now. Firewood's going to be one of the key things here. It kind of sucks doing this in the middle of winter, but we're going to put 150 there for now, and then bump it up a little bit later. Herbs, we do not need herbs at all right now, so I can put 200. Leather, we're going to put 50. I actually have no idea how much leather I have, so we'll just put 20 actually. Then I have no stone, so that's a good place to start. Let's check our guessing and see what do we have here. Inventory, I have 150 venison, that's good. How much leather do I have? Right now it doesn't look like I have a lot. I have 0 actually, and that's because it's constantly being used. So we'll bump up we'll keep our venison at 100. That's okay. And probably what I'm going to do here is just wait to see what I can get from my people. As you can see, we're starting to get our first villagers die from old age, which unfortunately means I really probably should have built a cemetery already. But I don't have a cemetery. I don't have a church. There's so many things that I usually have in the game by now that I don't have. So let's go ahead and build a cemetery first, because I want a place where we can remember our fallen friends. I'll put it by the quarry. There we go. Takes a little bit of stone, but it's worth it. Just so that way you can look and see, hey look, we had someone that died. I should probably think about burying them. Usually a good thought. So how are we doing on houses? This house still has some older people. We should probably put another house just across the street from it, because I can't build right there. We'll put one down here. Because what we're going to need to do eventually, I'm almost at my food limit. Rigo, hello you. So early spring, still 25, still snow. That's okay. This mine is slowly building. Really need that. This bridge probably needs to be upped in priority as well, just to make sure things happen. So let's get this priority up, see if that'll actually do anything. Now I'm just going to wait for a trader to come by and see what I can do, what I can get, because we're going to need... We have one woodcutter right now, and I'm probably due to have a second here. So let's go ahead and span this area out a little bit, because now that I'm starting to trade wood, I'm going to need a lot more wood. That is like expert analysis right there. So we'll have this one here, because that's going to put a strain and make my people kind of cold if I'm not careful. But right now we got plenty of resources. I can still death march people up over here. I can just get my clicking to work, because I want this stone. I want as much surface stone as I can. I want as much surface iron as I can get. And that's just to bolster until I can start either trading for resources or just straight up digging it out of the ground myself, because the mine's good, except for killing people. But that's going to come at a later date. Now you can see I could have up to 12 vendors, but I don't really need that today. Alright, so foresters. I'm pretty good on logs, and I'm pretty good on iron. I just need... I guess what I need at this point is builders. I have a need for 29 builders. I apparently have started that many projects. So we'll just go ahead and see. The trader is going to come by eventually. They always do. What's the inventory like here? Usually I have a storage barn nearby here as well, but I don't know if the storage barn that I have is not super far. So what's the inventory looking like right now? Plenty of fish, plenty of berries, plenty enough. My food reserves aren't as awesome as they used to be, but I have some mushrooms. I kind of wanted more mushrooms. Herbs are good, firewood's decent, and I'm keeping up with production there. I just don't like the number of kids that my town's having. So we're probably going to see a dieback here in just a little bit. So you can see my tailor's not able to keep up with clothes. We're getting more people dying here. If we look at the stats as well, not the alcohol stats, population stats, you can see things are starting to fall, and unfortunately people are not having kids. There's things that I can do to probably try and push people around, like this wooden house. Just has some old spinsters in it at some point. But once again, we just have a bunch of builders and probably need some more laborers. Says bridge. Please finish bridge. Because that's going to open up plenty of resources, and then I can build more houses and be happy. No trader yet. Interesting. So there we go. We have plenty of people that are adults. We have 7 kids, not as many students. So a bunch of people popping in all at once. Not terrible. Sorry, just had to randomly pause there for a moment. Alright, so suddenly, can I scroll? Can't mouse scroll. That's weird. Alright, well, we'll adjust. Have to fix that later. But Hurstboro, the flatlining population problem is going to be a big issue for kind of the next episode, because we really need to up our ability to breed. And that means building more houses. And we have 2 houses that are under construction, which is good. We have another child, so at least we're getting kids. I want to have around like 7 or 8 kids constantly. Right now this graph is just way too low. I want it really to be up there for total student and children. Because at least before about population 200 or so, I'd like to see this kind of go split 50-50. But this bridge, you see how many people are using this bridge right now? This is so important for collecting these resources right here. Wow, okay, my mouse is apparently not liking where I had to pause there, so that's interesting. So just trying to save it for one last trading post to come in here, and then I'll probably call this one an episode. So just looking around the town right now. So just got plenty of things to build, plenty of laborers. Oh, don't want to... Whoa! Okay. Alright, so apparently my mouse decided it wanted to click on things that don't need to be clicked on, so I need more builders. I don't need that many laborers. And in fact, now that I'm starting to get some more people, let's start getting together some foresters too. So that was just a weird situation all around. I don't like having people running around unemployed. And there's our first trader, right on cue, right in the late winter. And once again, I'm going to pause it. We have our merchant, we have our notification, and what do we have to trade? Unfortunately, not a lot of exciting stuff. Corn and pumpkin, which you can pump in food to try and diversify people's diet and make them pretty healthy. But at least right now, I'm feeling pretty good about my town's diet. But look at this, lots of value for herbs. 4 for herbs, 3 for venison. And this is why I get a lot of herbs, because it's important for the economy. Leather's great at 10. In fact, it may be worth pumping a few more hunters in just to see. But that's how trading works. Sometimes they come by and they bring a lot. I've found that usually the first trader doesn't bring a lot of exciting stuff. So we'll go ahead and call this an episode here. And next time what we're going to do is I'm probably going to build another trading dock just down here. My goal next time is to get my population up. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to, once my population's up a little bit, so you can see we're getting more people moving around here, is to try and start a farming economy, whether it's with livestock or whether it is with, not livestock, crops. There we go. So I will go ahead and get some more hunters together just to try and get some more leather so we can get some more clothes, so we can get some more, just everything together. But right now my population's still building inside of this area pretty well. I still have some houses that need to complete. And just right now we have all kinds of building projects that are going on. In fact, this mine is just about done. So things are progressing pretty nicely. It's just that everything's trying to be built all at once, and that sometimes takes some time. So for now, that's a video. This is Way to Fail. This is Banished. Check it out. It's a very fun game. And there's a lot that goes into it. Like I said, it's maybe not the hugest, widest, swathiest scope in the world of a game, but you know what? There's a lot to be said about a very solid, rock-solid simulation engine, and that's exactly what this game has. So that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all next time with more Hurstboro action, as we are now mining the hillside and destroying this beautiful, beautiful watery area with this nice smoke and pollution. Yay, humanity! See you next time.